everything there is to know about Draedon. So, who is Draedon? So basically, centuries ago, Draedon woke up in a snowy taiga in his robot body next to the corpse of who he presumes to be his creator. So Draedon acknowledges that the creator was a great inventor, and he can clearly tell that, but robot Draedon has already far surpassed that, and Draedon is now essentially just a robot who strives only for the pursuit of knowledge without morality, because I'm sure that can't go wrong. So, anyway, Draedon ends up joining up with Yaren, who is on a crusade to kill the gods alongside Yaren, Supreme Witch Calamitous, and Permafrost the Archmage, because the gods killed a bunch of dragons, and that's a really bad thing. So Draedon is recruited into the team because he is Yaren's former colleague, and this connection is never really explained, but also isn't that important, so I don't know. So something important that I didn't put on the slide is that Draedon is basically working just for the chance to have the resources to make his death machines he wants to make, and Yaren's side of the deal is he gets to use these death machines. I mean, pretty good deal for Yaren, and Draedon gets everything he wants. So anyway, Draedon ends up setting up a lot of research labs across the world that serve various different purposes, and these are the labs that you can find in-game. And the logs inside give us a lot of the information that we actually know about Draedon. Like, this is how we know a lot about it. So, anyway. So the Sulphur Sea. The Hell City atmosphere basically produced a lot of pollution that seeped upwards and polluted the ocean above, basically making the area uninhabited. And so, naturally, Draedon sees this and designates it as his dumping ground, making it way worse. And so it's basically unsalvageable, according to Yaren. However, Draedon does say that he could clean it really easily, and despite Yaren telling him to put it on high priority, Draedon views it as an opportunity to study, and so he's not going to let this opportunity pass. He's not going to pass up this opportunity. So anyway, Draedon's soul experiments is one of the things that he regrets the most, but ultimately wasn't that bad. Because after having armed Yaren's military, Draedon sought to make much more powerful machines. His intent was to fuel a war machine with soul energy, allowing it to fight with purpose. And this works well, maybe too well, actually, because it creates the mech trio, but Draedon hates it because the souls give the machines some amount of free will. He prefers his machines to serve absolutely. And so we can also kind of see an example of this with Astral Aureus, because basically when the astral meteor with the Asal Infection hit the world of Terraria, it was of utmost interest to Draedon, and he immediately sent off a collection robot to go get some samples. But unfortunately, because of the infection being able to just take over whatever, it took over this robot and assimilated it into the Asal Infection, which Draedon hates because, I mean, obviously he likes his machines to listen to him. So anyway, at one point, after Yaren having been fighting the same war for decades, he, out of desperation, recruits the Devourer of Gods, who is a big cosmic serpent worm from a different dimension. Don't ask how he got his hands on that. And Draedon is tasked with creating a suit of armor for the Devourer of Gods, to assist it in taking on even the strongest of gods, excluding Xerox, obviously. Now, Draedon uses information gathered from the Devourer's home dimension to develop Cosmolite, which is a material that massively advances Draedon's knowledge, and also is the material he uses to make the armor. Now, while researching, Draedon also happened to discover, at the very least, part of the truth behind the Devourer's origin, but never said anything about it to Draedon, or to Yaren. So anyway, the Nano Plague. Now this is where Draedon starts to become a problem. Well, more of a problem than he was. So, very much against Yaren's will, Draedon created a Nano Plague that can infect the queen bees in the jungle to be harnessed into it as organic nuke machines that were fully under his control, basically. And part of the reason for doing this is because he didn't really like how the mech trio turned out, and he wants things to serve absolutely. And the Plague Bringer Goliath was definitely what he would view as a success. Yaram was furious though, and Draedon didn't really care, because Draedon hadn't really needed Yaram for years at this point. He pretty much already has nigh unlimited resources. So, when Yaram never contacted Draedon ever again, he didn't care. So also, if you didn't think so already, Draedon is very much an ecological terrorist, and even Yaram is above enslaving creatures to win his wars, because he views it as no better than the gods. Now, Calamitous Clone, I didn't really know where to fit this in, because it's unclear when or why this was created, but basically, this is a robot that has a clone of Calamitous inside, because when Draedon initially created the clone, upon being given literally a fraction of Calamitous' power, the clone immediately went insane, and just mentally broke. And so the robot is kind of a shell built to harness this power, but ultimately it just kind of roams the night sky. So anyway, the Exomechs are quite possibly Draedon's magnum opus, and the mech trio was this mech trio was designed to be stronger than even Supreme Calamitous and Yaram himself, at the time at least, not at current time. Draedon believes it could easily defeat any god, but Yaram knows that Xerox would kind of solo it. Yaram is actually kind of very concerned by this, but at this point can't really do anything about it. And here we have a direct quote from Yaram where he is just going after Draedon, calling him just the worst person to ever exist ever. So anyway, let me know if I missed anything important. Like seriously, I like learning about these things. And thanks for watching. Maybe like, comment, or sub.